Are you or someone you know interested in agriculture? What about access to land to aid in achieving food security? The government is providing lands across the country for enthused farmers. I'm Adrian Atkinson and this is Jamaica Magazine. As we turn the pages today, we highlight not only farmlands but also a few other important initiatives. Stay with us.
Are you a farmer or investor who is interested in leasing lands from the government? This information is just for you.
We have 2,000 acres of land in Elim, St. Elizabeth, which is best suited for aquaculture production. We have lands in the Bogwalk area of St. Catherine that's good for cocoa beans production. We have lands in Portland that are great for a range of agricultural production. And we have lands in Brownstown, St. Anne that's good for cattle production. And we continue to scout Jamaica from east, west, north, and south to discover best land used for agriculture.
For more information on land leasing, call or visit the office of the Agri-Investment Corporation, the agribusiness arm of the government.
Good day, I'm Lorraine Mendez and this is your JIS News for Tuesday, April 9. Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke is leading a delegation to Washington, D.C. in the United States this week for high-level meetings with the management of the International Monetary Fund and World Bank Group. Minister Clarke and his team leave the island tomorrow for the 2019 spring meetings of Board of Governors for the two multilateral organizations. Following those meetings, he will attend the 4th Annual ECOSOC Forum on Financing for Development to be held on April 15 at the United Nations headquarters in New York. At that forum, Dr. Clarke will be a panelist in the Ministerial Finance Dialogue on Mobilizing Finance for Climate Action at the invitation of the President of the UN Economic and Social Council, ECOSOC. He has also been invited to speak at a high-level ministerial lunch on financing for development, as well as at various seminars on fiscal policy and disaster resilience strategies. Ahead of his overseas assignment, the finance minister is reiterating government's push for increased local investment in order to accelerate and sustain Jamaica's economic growth. He says the administration will continue to support the process by implementing policies that encourage and incentivize greater levels of domestic and foreign investment.
We've had a lot of foreign investment, but I don't think the domestic investment has yet been unleashed in the way that it can and that it ultimately will. We believe that the environment today and the policy choices that we've made will encourage domestic investment to be unleashed in Jamaica in ways that it hasn't in a long period of time.
The finance minister was speaking at the Destination Experience Masters of Industry reception held at the Mercedes-Benz showroom on South Camp Road in Kingston recently. He argued that while ongoing economic reform had resulted in 16 consecutive quarters of growth, there remained a need for greater value added in the country's production and output. He said this could take place through backward integration in areas like tourism, to encompass multiple segments of the supply chain and specifically allowing more manufacturing businesses to be established. Government has lauded the creation of 55 new jobs for residents in Harborview and surrounding communities with the opening of KFC Harborview. This new investment, which is part of Restaurant of Jamaica ROJ Limited's 2020 expansion plan, is valued at $200 million. Industry Minister Audley Shaw, who was addressing the grand opening on Saturday, said the initiative supported government's push to decrease the unemployment rate across Jamaica.
I must commend the Restaurants of Jamaica for the overall growth of the food chain and for its contribution to nation building over the years through employment, strategic partnerships with other entities, as well as the company's impressive response to corporate social responsibility.
Member of Parliament for East Rural St. Andrew, Juliet Holness, also commended the ROJ Group for its commitment to continued quality restaurant operations in her constituency and across the island.
I am actually very encouraged to have more businesses in the constituency. It actually provides employment, and those businesses drive others to come along and join the community.
This new location is the second of 4 KFC restaurants that are being opened as part of the company's expansion plans. The Social Development Commission, SDC, has awarded grants totaling $1.1 million to 22 small entrepreneurs and micro-businesses in St. James. The grants were presented during a recent handover ceremony and workshop held in the SDC St. James office at Albion. The SDC's Field Supervisor and Community Development Officer for the parish, Carolyn Brown James, says the money was secured from the Planning Institute of Jamaica, PIOJ. It's to support procurement of equipment and raw materials in order to boost production and increase employment in the businesses. The workshop was used as a platform to get the businesses ready for the upcoming Montpelier Agricultural and Industrial Show, which will be held in the parish on Monday, April 22. 35 small entrepreneurs will be attending the agricultural show to ply their wares, as well as to be judged on the labeling and packaging of their products, along with their customer service and uniform. This is part of the local economic development support program. And finally, a new classroom and administrative block has been constructed at Campbell's Castle Primary and Infant School in Manchester. The work was done with grant funding from the Japanese government and National Education Trust, as well as budgetary support from the Education Ministry. The building, which was officially handed over on Monday, houses a new staff room, office space for the principal and administrative staff, and a computer room. The school compound has also been fenced as part of the project, which provided employment for several persons in the community. The institution's principal says it's already having a positive effect on the school community.
Students are now able to move around freely and so are more engaged in practical class activities and are free from termites and rat infestation which plagued the institution for years. When learners and teachers are safe, then the room for innovation is limitless.
And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Lorraine Mendez. Thanks for watching.
Nobody want to plant the corn. Everybody want to read the band. Who you are go blame it on when it's a next man you are deep in pan. Well, you're wrong.
Farmers, let us be serious about predial larceny. It is affecting all of us. If you are aware of incidents of predial larceny, make contact with your local police station or call Crime Stop at 311. Predial larceny is everybody's business.
No mind if me stall. Them no business if me back against the wall. This I live in sometime making me ball. Seems like there ain't no love after.
Up next, the latest happenings out of the office of the Prime Minister.
Prime Minister calls for increased vigilance on the nation's roads. New Minister Pernell Charles Jr. pledges support to the housing sector. And Cabinet approves contract for NID solution. You're watching Jamaica House Weekly. I'm Anthony Morgan. Prime Minister Andrew Holness last week called on motorists to be more vigilant on the nation's roads. Mr. Holness's call followed statistics released by the Road Safety Unit, which reported that there had been more than 100 road fatalities since the start of the year. Since then, data at April 8 showed that 116 persons, including 105 males and 11 females, have lost their lives due to road crashes. Persons in the 20 to 34-year-old age group were most affected. Westmoreland recorded the most deaths, followed by St. Elizabeth, Manchester and Clarendon. This past week, the Prime Minister also received an update on the progress of roads being upgraded under the Major Infrastructure Development Program MIDP, the National Works Agency's project manager for the program. The agency says Mandela Highway is 96% complete, Hagley Park is at 68%, while Constant Spring is 67% along the way, and 66% of the work has been completed on the Macfield to Ferris roadway. Preliminary works began on another MIDP program this past week. It's a $2.2 million project to relocate the Jamaica Defense Force's South Camp Road entrance to Cannonball Gate. Under the project, the intersections at Tom Redcombe Drive and Arnold Road will be signalized and widened to 2 additional lanes. It's expected to be completed in 6 months' time. In the week, Cabinet approved a $31.7 million contract for the implementation of the National Identification System NIDS. Productive Business Solutions was awarded the contract for a 5-year period. The local company will provide the NID solution, data center hardware, software, and public key infrastructure. While the outcome of a court case is being awaited, the government will continue to upgrade the data center and improve its civil registry. Implementation of the NIDS is slated to begin in 2020 in 2 phases, a pilot phase and the national rollout. Newly minted Minister without portfolio in the Ministry of Economic Growth and Job Creation, Pernell Charles Jr., got his feet wet this past week. He was on hand to break ground for a $1 billion resort squatter settlements upgrade project at Grange Pen in St. James. It's being funded by the Tourism Enhancement Fund and managed by the Housing Agency of Jamaica.
It is my responsibility now to be the one to ensure that I drive the processes of accountability to make sure that we are providing the housing that is necessary to all of the communities across this country.
535 households are expected to benefit from the 2-year program. The project will include land titling, road scribing and paving, drainage, building of a sewerage plant, water installation and electricity distribution. By Friday, Minister Charles was back in Kingston to launch the 2019 staging of the Kingstoon Animation Festival.
While animation will allow a range of artists to profit from their passion, the sector, in my opinion, is now ripe for early stage investment options and significantly more attractive than our saturated traditional sectors.
Minister Charles said with the festival, Jamaica is poised to tap into the global animation industry, which is projected to generate $270 billion in 2020. Kingstoon was held over 4 days at the University of Technology. It's an international animation conference, marketplace and film festival organized by the Office of the Prime Minister in partnership with the World Bank.
We all must be very aware that climate change and its possible impact can disrupt all plans and programs, whether in the private or public sphere, if concrete and decisive steps are not taken to deal with this global issue.
Permanent Secretary in the Economic Growth Ministry, Audrey Sewell, as she called for greater public partnerships to increase climate change adaptation. Mrs. Sewell was speaking at Tuesday's opening of a 3-day Green Climate Fund Caribbean Private Sector Engagement Workshop in Montego Bay. And that's how we close out Jamaica House Weekly. Be sure to join us next time for more stories coming out of the Office of the Prime Minister.
Want to know the law pertaining to renting a house? What about the procedure if you're arrested? Or what is defined as corruption? Then click on the Ministry of Justice website. It has information on every law passed in Jamaica. The House of Parliament portal also has the more recent year's pieces of legislation. The sites are easy to search and the files are downloadable. Make access to justice your business. Know your rights.
If you are a farmer, then the Agro Investment Corporation is an entity that you should have on speed dial. They are the government's representative if you require land to grow your produce. Watch this.
Leasing government land. I benefited from being in a group experience, which I would not be able to get were I just an independent operator. You're able to bounce off things on your colleague farmers. You're able to get all kinds of information and advice and guidance from the park manager and the support team at the head office, specifically like marketing. They were able to help me tremendously with that when I went into the crop, my very first crop, and I didn't know where to turn.
Agro Investment Corporation is the agribusiness facilitation arm of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries. We were set up to facilitate large-scale investment in agriculture in Jamaica, given the importance of agriculture to Jamaica's economy, particularly as it relates to employment, food security and exports. The AgroPark concept is framed this way, in which the government laid down the infrastructure, including irrigation, drainage, quality management systems, and technical support, and allow the farmers to make the investment on these lands, which are the most capable in Jamaica, to secure the best opportunity for outcomes.
Good afternoon.
Our investment officers, upon the discovery of business opportunities, will help the farmers to develop their business plans. And these business plans will be assessed for their technical merits and integrity. And then we'll allocate the kinds of land, the land in the right location with the right soil type and physical attributes that best match with the kind of production that will be taking place.
To lease available lands from AgriInvest, you need to fill out an application form and submit it along with your ID and proof of your capacity to invest.
AgriPark investors continue to impact Jamaica's economy in a very visible and impactful way. We have 150 investors on the 5 parks today that are spending around about $2 billion of investment each year in the park and generating over 2 million pounds of produce each year, going into different market chains locally and export as well. Plus they're hiring about 200 persons on a consistent basis, including 80 women. So the parks are impacting the economy in a very positive and significant way in food security, in export promotion, in economic growth, and in job creation.
It's great because financially it helped me out a lot. I have 5 kids to send to school, so it's very helpful. Normally, I was at home doing nothing.
As a female farmer, you're not taken seriously initially, right? So you have to push and push to find different links, talk to different persons. And that was how I was introduced to Princess Lee, which is the AgriPark manager from Amity Hall. She taught me how to do the plan for the farm and different techniques, different strategies, and so on. She worked with me to develop everything, and then she showed me an area where I could work. So from there, we did soil tests and so on. I took the procedure 2 different steps, and right away we got started on the land.
You're coming into an environment where you'll be getting a lot of technical support. We have a strong group at Amity that helps to foster production by working together. We have a group of investors that are willing to work together to get the produce from the farm to the fork. They work with us to ensure that the food is safely produced and sent to our customers, and they work with us to ensure that best practices are adhered to on the farm as it relates to agriculture.
We're appealing to farmers to take advantage of the opportunities in Jamaica and in agriculture. The Jamaica brand is very strong, our products are very, very high quality, and we need to have more farmers investing in agriculture to grow the economy. When agriculture grows, the economy grows. When agriculture grows, inflation goes down. When agriculture grows, rural unemployment goes down.
For more information regarding agricultural land leases, call 876-923-9268 or visit the Office of AgriInvestment Corporation at 188 Spanish Town Road, Kingston.
What can a little germs do?
Pink eye running belly, even flu. Germs can let them happen to you.
Put germs on our manners with these. Cover your mouth when you cough and sneeze. Always wash your hand with water and soap. Keep dirty hands from your eyes and your nose and your mouth. You don't want to be sick, take care. Practice every day, no germs down here. A message from the Ministry of Health.
Private-public partnership is necessary for nation building. This kind of partnership fosters unity, transparency and development. Recently, the government collaborated with a private sector entity to provide health care for hundreds of persons. Watch this.
Thousands of Jamaicans in Western Jamaica enjoy brighter smiles and clearer vision every year, courtesy of Great Shape Inc. and its partners. This charitable organization, based in the United States, has been visiting Jamaica since an aid mission following Hurricane Gilbert in 1988.
We started doing little projects ever since the hurricane to try to help communities get them into great shape, hence the name Great Shape. reshaping communities in need.
We have a lot of partners, but our main partner is Sandals Foundation.
We did school projects, road projects, medicine, shoes, anything we could do to help. And we were doing what we could, but we were doing not as much as we wanted. Until 2003, I knocked on Sandals' door, and Sandals said yes to a proposal for a dental project.
The partnership with Sandals Foundation blossomed and the Eye Care program was launched in 2009. It has led to the 16-year-old 1000 Smiles Oral Health program and the Eye Care Optical Initiative that's in its 10th year. To date, both have benefited over 200,000 persons across the parishes of Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Mary and St. Elizabeth. The estimated value of the goods and services provided in those 7 parishes is $8.8 million. As part of Eye Care's 10th anniversary celebrations this year, the organizers provided free selective laser trabeculoplasty (SLT) surgery for open-angle glaucoma, as well as argon laser treatment for patients with diabetic retinopathy.
When people have glaucoma, they have a lot of pressure in the eye, and with this surgery we could reduce the pressure in the eye and save their sight for many years. With this surgery, some people could get off their glaucoma medicine, some people could reduce it greatly and not have to take so much.
It'll deliver laser energy. And I have this lens that I put on the surface of the eye. That lets me get up into the angle where the iris and the cornea come together. That's our drainage system inside the eye. So what I'm doing, this is a YAG SLT laser, but I'm tapping those drainage cells with laser energy. So I'm not punching holes at all, but I'm just tapping those cells. And the majority of people, that'll increase the outflow and lower the pressure. So that's what we're doing with this.
One beneficiary of the surgery, Ethan Daly, was all smiles after completing the procedure. The senior citizen, who says he has been struggling with glaucoma for about 6 years, is grateful to the charity organization for helping to save his vision.
I'm feeling okay now because I used to feel like a vapor in this left eye, like something stick on my eye. Don't feel it again.
We have medicines that we give for a couple months, but we do refer to the government-based hospitals in Kingston and Montego Bay if they need further treatment for their glaucoma.
Prescription eyeglasses are custom-made on-site for people who visit the free clinics, and thousands of sunglasses are also provided to prevent further eye conditions. Eye Care volunteer optician Tom Hicks, who hails from Oxford, Ohio in the United States, is making his 3rd trip to the island, and he says helping others is most rewarding for him.
I have a saying that it's not what you do for yourself that will be your legacy, it's what you do for others that will always be remembered. And that's why you do trips like this. And that's why you help other people that need it.
Over 71,000 pairs of glasses have been distributed under the Eye Care program since 2008. Dentistry, which is by far the biggest branch of the outreach, attracts volunteer dental hygienists and students from schools in the US, Canada, and here at the University of Technology.
We have a great sealant program involved with Great Shape. Sealants are something we can apply to teeth before they have any decay into the little grooves and fissures that will help prevent cavity, prevent debris from getting in there. And so it's a wonderful way to try to keep people from having cavities in the first place.
Along with the sealing, the Great Shape Inc. 1000 Smiles project also does fillings, cleanings, extractions, X-rays, and root canal procedures. The opportunities for knowledge transfer to final year UTech dental students helps to improve results in their clinical exams.
We're exposed to different techniques. There are different ways of doing things, better ways, so we're able to improve ourselves just by being in contact with persons who have been in the business for a long time.
Volunteers also visit local primary schools where they provide oral health education and products to the children.
You can't eat your favorite foods if you don't have teeth, right? So it's really, really important that we brush our teeth every single day. How many times a day? 2. Perfect. Great job. When we brush our teeth, are we only going to brush the front? Yeah. Just the front? No. We want to brush the front, and we want to brush the back, and underneath, and on the inside. You see us?
Such is the essence of life. People giving in to volunteerism, giving of their time, skills, and resources to help others in need. Catch the spirit now? So that we can all be in great shape.
As Easter approaches, we headed to the streets to get the opinion of the public on the meaning of forgiveness, one of the major tenets of the season.
If you're doing to somebody something, you can't forgive them. And like how the Lord forgive everybody, you just can't forgive them too.
Boy, I'm not telling a lie still, you know. More time black people do things in their life, but down the line, I myself, I always forgive them, you know. No care how I'm going, you know. I always forgive them in the end, because I fear God, you know.
Forgiveness means if you've been done wrong, right? It means to forgive, to let go and move on.
Like for instance, you have somebody like an enemy or so, somebody that is your enemy, and you go and you talk to the person. Yeah.
If somebody do me something, me just go to them and ask them why. Because like say me and somebody a good friend one time, and then through me lend her my money, she get upset, and every day she start call me all type of name and all type of something she continue to do. So I say, why through me lend me money and I ask you back for you continue to find all type of fault to call me and say about my daughter. So I ask her what is her problem. I never ask back for my money.
When I give somebody something, God will bless you.
The magazine closes for today, but please visit our social media pages. We're just a click away. You may also download our app to be notified of our new posts. Until next time, I'm Adrian Atkinson. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.